Tuesday News.
Hello and welcome to Tuesday Newsday number 25, where our learning goal is to determine two or more central ideas of a text and analyze their development over the course of that text, including how those ideas interact and build on one another. At the end of today's lesson, you'll be asked to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 4. 4 meaning that you can identify the central idea or ideas, point to the evidence that the author uses to prove his or her point, and how those ideas build on one another. A 3 means that you can identify the central idea or ideas, and you're able to point to the evidence that the author uses to prove his or her point. But you can't really point out how those ideas build on one another. That's kind of one of those things like that I want you to do to be able to get to a 4. But if you're doing this, you are meeting my expectations. So a 3 is okay. A 3 is where we want everybody to be. If you're at a 2, that means you can identify the central idea or ideas, but you're not really able to point to the evidence that the author uses to prove his or her point. This is similar to not showing your work in math. We want to see the process. The same thing happens in English. And I don't know if I'm breaking news here, but the right answer has never been the goal. The right answer is a byproduct of understanding the process. So if you're able to identify the evidence, you're showing me that you can accomplish the process. Therefore, the answer will probably follow. And if you're at a 1, that means you can identify, or that you are unsure of how to find the central idea of the text. That is okay. Please rate yourself properly so that I can see those and discuss the article in a more effective way so that you can understand. To receive a unit and a half for today's lesson, you must highlight or underline the main idea, circle the evidence that the author uses to prove his or her point, and put a box around any other central ideas in the text. The worksheet for today's lesson looks a little different than it has in the past. I've got 2 new challenges, and for the first challenge here, the summarizing the story, you actually get an extra unit if you accomplish the task as requested. So the first thing we'll do with our story is we'll identify the topic. Naturally, we've been through this. The topic is not the main idea. The topic gives us an insight to what the main idea will be, but the main idea tends to come through in the details of the story. So often, the writers will expand and bring in other aspects of a topic that go beyond just the headline. Although typically we can identify the topic via the headline, which happens right away, of course. Summarizing the story, new challenge, extra unit if you accomplish this task. I want you to summarize the story in 12 words, exactly. And then I want you to summarize the story in exactly 32 words. So be thinking about how you can really synthesize that information and maybe expand on it a little bit, maybe add to what might be important. As always, the first and last sentence, and that looks the same. The first sentence serves as an intro to the main idea, typically for an author, and the last sentence serves as a recap of the main idea, typically for an author. That's not always the case, especially with the last sentence, but those 2 pieces really create an understanding of that main idea. Repeated ideas are not so much repeated ideas now. New, this is respond to the quote. These are 2 quotes, those in italics, that are directly from the story. I want you to respond to them in this way. So the first one says this: I love the convenience of literally grabbing and going. We'll see that in the story, and I'll point that out. But your job is to answer this question: how does this quote support the main idea? The other quote that I want you to consider is this: just walk out technology is kind of cool in theory. Why is this quote included in the story? So you answer that question, and as we read the story, hopefully those quotes make more sense. And I'll point those out when they come up in the story. And then finally, you'll identify the main idea of the article. So the title of the story is this: No Checkout Needed. Amazon opens cashierless grocery store. Written by Joseph Pisani for the Associated Press on March 9th of 2020. Um, so it's Amazon again, sort of Amazon taking over the world as they've been doing. Amazon wants to kill the supermarket checkout line. The online retailing giant opened its first cashierless supermarket where shoppers can grab milk or eggs and walk out without waiting in line or ever opening their wallets. It's the latest sign that Amazon is serious about shaking up the $800 billion grocery industry. At the new store, which opened February 25th in Amazon's hometown of Seattle, Washington, shoppers scan a smartphone app to enter the store. Cameras and sensors track what's taken off the shelves. Items are charged to an Amazon account after leaving. I love the convenience of literally grabbing and going, said Art Kuniuki, a payroll and benefits manager from Seattle who spent $15 on Barilla pasta, Dove chocolate, and other groceries shortly after the store opened. And of course, that's your first quote. I love the convenience of literally grabbing and going. Called Amazon Go Grocery, the new store is an expansion of its 2-year chain of 25 Amazon Go convenience stores. It's 10,400 square feet, more than 5 times the size of the convenience stores, and stocks much more beyond the sodas and sandwiches found at Amazon Go. Cameron Janes, who helps oversee Amazon's physical stores, said the technology had to be tweaked to account for how many people squeeze tomatoes to test for ripeness, or rummage through avocados to find just the right one. Nothing at the store is weighed. One blood orange goes for 53 cents. A banana is 19 cents. Amazon is not new to groceries. It made a splash in 2017 when it bought Whole Foods and its 500 stores. It's also been expanding its online grocery delivery service. But it's still far behind rival Walmart, the nation's largest grocer, which has more than 4,700 stores. Walmart's online grocery service has also been popular with customers who buy online and then drive to a store to pick up their order. Amazon also plans to open another type of grocery store in Los Angeles, California, sometime this year, but the company said it won't use the cashierless technology at that location and has kept other details under wraps. The company declined to say if it plans to open more Amazon Go grocery stores and said that there are no plans to bring the technology to Whole Foods stores. Much of the fruits and vegetables come from the same suppliers at Whole Foods, Jane said, and it has products from the Whole Foods store brand 365, such as organic oatmeal and bagged baby carrots, but it also sells Oreos, Cheez-Its, and other stuff banned from the natural grocer. Families can shop together with just one phone scanning everyone in. Anything they grab and leave the store with will be added to the tab of the person who signed them in. But shoppers shouldn't help out a stranger reaching for the top shelf. Amazon warns that grabbing an item for someone else means that you'll be charged for it if they walk out with it. Hoping to catch up to Amazon, other retailers and startups are racing to bring similar cashierless technologies to stores. Earlier this month, 7-Eleven said it is testing a cashierless store for employees inside its offices in Irving, Texas. But cashierless stores have come under scrutiny from lawmakers and advocates who say that they discriminate against low-income people who may not have a credit card or bank account. Amazon has since let customers pay with cash at its convenience stores, and the company said shoppers can do the same at the grocery store by alerting a worker to let them in through the turnstile. The stores also eliminate the job of cashiers. James declined to say exactly how many people the store employs, saying only it is several dozen. Workers greet customers and walk around the aisles restocking shelves. One employee stands by the alcohol section to check IDs of shoppers who want wine or beer. While cashierless stores remove the annoyance of waiting in line to pay, it also kills some joys of the supermarket. There's no one to bag groceries. Instead, Amazon gives out reusable bags so shoppers can fill them as they shop. And there's no deli counter, butcher, or fishmonger. Instead, sliced ham, steaks, and salmon fillets are already packaged and found in refrigerated shelves. Just walk out technology is kind of cool in theory, said David Bishop, a partner at retail consultancy Brick Meets Click. But he said shoppers decide where to shop based on other factors besides how quickly they can get in and out of the store. Bishop said those who want thinly sliced ham may skip Amazon Go Grocery and walk 2 blocks away to the Kroger owned QFC supermarket, which is about 5 times the size. Still, Bishop said, it's hard for the grocery industry to ignore Amazon, which has the cash and technology to experience with groceries. They're not giving up, he said of Amazon. So the first and last sentence are here. Amazon wants to kill the supermarket checkout line. And the last is, they're not giving up, he said of Amazon. Your job now, and I moved this, I kind of flip flop main idea and repeated ideas, is to identify the main idea of the article. And once you've done that, take a look at the quotes that I said that I would highlight in the story. And talk about how these quotes, number one, support that main idea that you suggest, and number two, why was this quote included in the story? Why do you think that that quote's important? So you respond to the first one now, and the second one. And now that you've filled out the sheet, I think my time is done here. It's been explained. You've answered the questions. You've earned your unit and a half. Identifying the main idea was the goal. You've done that. And so, ciao for now. All right, encore number one. Here is the main idea of the article. Amazon is attempting to shake up the grocery industry because it's a profitable industry that they want to be a part of, and it's hard for the grocery industry to ignore Amazon, which has the cash and the technology to experiment with groceries. This was actually the second to last sentence of the story. So now we have these two quotes. And your job is to look at how those quotes fit in with that main idea. So if this is the main idea, then these, in response to that main idea, would be the reasons for the quotes. So the quote said, I love the convenience of literally grabbing and going. Well, this quote speaks to the title of the story. The idea is that it's cashierless. That one's pretty basic. The grabbing and going piece is that you've checked in with your phone on the way in, and everything that you grab gets scanned and gets charged to your Amazon account. But the second one's the one I want to focus on most here. Just walk out technology is kind of cool in theory. Why is this quote included in the story? Well, the in theory part suggests that there is either a drawback to the system or a transition between ideas. The latter is true because the next line is, but, he said, shoppers decide where to shop based on other factors besides how quickly they can get in and out of the store. Bishop said that those who want thinly sliced ham may skip the Amazon grocery, if you remember in the beginning of the story, because it said that they don't have a butcher or a baker or things like that. Like, it's just in packages. So they may skip the Amazon Go Grocery and walk 2 blocks away to the Kroger-owned QFC supermarket, which is about 5 times the size. So essentially, convenience will still be a factor, and a conventional grocery store might fit a shopper's needs. So the in theory part was kind of what I wanted to talk about, how that helps to transition and what effect just those two words have on the story. And so my question to you is this. What was different in the responses here that you didn't write in your own or in your first response about main idea and these quotes? What was something you learned? What was something new based on the discussion that I've just had with you? And finally, if this is our scale, where would you rate yourself? A 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1?